Hello and welcome to the SalesGame e-tutorial. I'm Diane Brown and I am a certified SalesGame facilitator and coach. I'm sure most of you are more familiar with Larry White, who facilitated your Beyond the Basics course, which is one of Plant Moran's early leadership development programs. Today, we want to give you a brief introduction to how you're going to prepare for your upcoming manager training, and as a part of that, do a very quick refresh on some of the things that you learned in Beyond the Basics. In the Beyond the Basics course, Larry first talked about the goal of the game. What are we trying to accomplish? And at the heart of everything, we're trying to accomplish enthusiastic clients. That's really the result and the outcome that we want. How do we get there? We follow the 6-stage business development process. So Larry provided you with an introduction to all of them, but he really honed in on the first two, stages 1 and stages 2, about creating opportunities and then transitioning to business. Now, as a part of your manager training materials preparation, you do have a 2-page summary that at a very high level reviews all 6 stages. So we'd encourage you to go back and take a look at that. In terms of the other content that was covered in the Beyond the Basics course, one of the key fundamentals that was covered was the ground rule. And for those of you who worked in that workshop and even those who don't, this is a universal communications tool that promotes win-win communication throughout the business development process and can be used at any stage. It's 3 parts. The first is really listening for something of value to you. The second is really paraphrasing that, feeding that back to the other party in the conversation to make sure that they know that you heard what it is that they expressed. And then the third part is to provide more information if you need to and ask an open-ended question to dig a little deeper. So in the Beyond the Basics course, one of the examples you used was, what if you met a prospect who already had an existing firm that they were satisfied with? The way that you could use the ground rule to respond to that is saying, thanks Jane for sharing that with me. It's exciting and you should be enthusiastic about that relationship, and we wouldn't want you to change unless there was a good business reason to do so. So today really the purpose is to learn more, so if you don't mind sharing, I'm curious, tell me a little bit about traditionally what has that firm done for you and what have they been handling? That's a very easy way to just continue the conversation. Let them know that you heard that they do have an existing provider, but also try to learn a little bit more. The next fundamental that you worked on was the scorecard, and this one is truly connected to the goal of the game and how are we going to create an enthusiastic client. So a couple of key parts. 1, the heart of the matter. What is the true source of value for them as a result of you serving them? What are they looking to accomplish? What are they looking to achieve? And then as a part of that, what are the 2 to 4 things that are really important to them? How are they going to measure your success? So in the Beyond the Basics course, you really use this in the context of client service, and we should do that every day. Think about, are we hitting that true source of value, and are we matching or meeting the scorecard factors on how they're going to measure us and our service to them, and are we translating that to the other team members with whom we're working to make sure they know and understand what that is. The other way that this tool could be used is truly in the business development or selling process. And in that process, it can be used to differentiate Plant Moran from other competitors. So if a prospect said, this is really what I want to accomplish, and these are the things that are important to me. 1 is your track record and experience in doing this, and the other is price, then those would be their scorecard factors. Now, to be honest, Plant Moran might not be the cheapest or most cost-efficient option, so that might be a negative if you look here on the right side of the scorecard. But if we have significantly more experience in handling these types of transactions, or we have a great track record, that could be a significant positive. So that's an example of how this tool could be used to differentiate Plant Moran in the sales process. It's truly one of the most significant tools and fundamentals as a part of the sales game. Now, in moving forward in this part of the tutorial, you're going to focus on 4 additional fundamentals. 1 is going to be the questioning technique, so you'll learn more about broad information gathering questions and must-ask questions. The next is going to be the opening technique. How do you literally open a meeting and transition to business? The flip side of that is, how do you close in a meeting? And it's not necessarily closing out the meeting, but it's how do you get a next step so that you're staying in the game. And then the final fundamental is really the play diagram, which is all about how we're planning effectively throughout the process. So in your manager training, if you focus on these fundamentals and completing this tutorial, you'll be very well prepared for Larry's upcoming session. A quick note about the tutorial. In the instructions, it does highlight this, but we want you to be sure that you're aware that as you work through the tutorial, if you want to stop at any point, you can. Because when you come back into the program, it'll pick up right where you left off. If you have any questions or issues with the tutorial as you complete it, please reach out to one of our SalesGame team members. We're happy to help and would love to work through anything that you might be experiencing along the way. Beyond that, we hope you enjoy exploring the sales game further and that you play well.